Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. Oh, sunny day here in Colorado, but clouds are kind of floating by, so I have this on auto exposure. So today is February 15th. Today's video is gonna be largely, well, pretty much predominantly about the Tacoma. You guys have kind of missed it. I've done some mods. I'm actually getting it ready to go on a trip. We're gonna go camping, the whole fam. I think I'm gonna bring Ashley, as long as she doesn't chicken out if it's too cold or something, but gonna go do a camping trip this weekend, a weekender lander. So that'll be filmed and edited up on the channel in the next week or two or three. So you guys have been asking for it. Sorry, my life has just been crazy busy. Maybe if I remember, I'll kind of give a life update at the end here. But February 15th, today, this is the last time I'm gonna ask you, enter the giveaway. Today is the last day for the Freedom Tremor giveaway. Sorry, it wants to focus on my face here. Last day to get entered. So if you guys, maybe you're sick of hearing it, I don't know, but we're trying to fight human trafficking and I'm trying to give away this awesome truck. So hopefully you don't get too tired of hearing about it. But today's the last day to get entered. February 15th is the last day. Today, if you're on the notification squad, if you're watching this video early, today. If you are watching this video late, you missed it. It's already closed. But get a patch real quick. Sorry, I'll put a little timestamp down here if I didn't already, where you can kind of skip ahead if you don't care about this. But you should care. So Diamondback and I and a bunch of other of my partners built this awesome truck, this 2020 F-250 Tremor. Bought a brand new truck, built it up. You've seen it, a bunch of videos of it on my channel over the last year. The whole purpose of that was A, to give away a cool truck, B, to build a cool truck and adventure with it, and kind of it's a showcase truck. It was at SEMA and all this other crap. But the main thing for me anyways was to help raise awareness to fight human trafficking. So people are bought and sold and kidnapped and everything into slavery every single day. There's like 40 million slaves currently. Sex slavery, labor slaves, all kinds of horrible stuff out there right now that just doesn't get talked about. People are too much of a wimp to talk about it, or there's too much political agenda behind it, or people are idiots. I don't know why it doesn't get talked about enough, but fortunately I was given the freedom to talk about it with Diamondback, to fight for freedom for those that are enslaved. So that's been the purpose of this project, and it's all coming to an end today. So all your entries, it's for charity, not profit. I'm not making a cent. I've talked about that a lot, but I think it's important to note that this is not a for-profit thing. So you hear me talking about it, it's not so I can line my pockets with money. I'm not seeing a cent. I just want to write a super fat check to A21. So yeah, tonight, midnight Mountain Standard, I believe, is the last night to get entered. The winner will get announced, I believe it's 6 or 7 days. The giveaways and raffles are highly regulated by the US government. So there's a window from when it ends to when we can announce the winner, to give time for like postcards and whatnot to get in. I don't know. It's all handled by a third party organization. Diamondback's not touching it. I'm not touching it. It's all going through them. But I believe on the 22nd-ish, don't quote me on that date, but around the 22nd-ish is when we're going to announce the winner. And then depending on who wins it, that's going to dictate how the handoff kind of goes. So whether that's going to be we just ship the truck out to them in California or something, they're just like, I don't care about any of you guys. I just want this truck. Then we'll just do that. If they're like all about it, like, yeah, LLOD's sick, then we'll probably do a little thing like an event kind of dealio where we actually physically hand them the keys and do all that stuff. So that's kind of to be determined. So whether that will happen publicly or not is to be determined. But I will do a video kind of wrapping everything up, telling you guys the final total, giving you guys some statistics, maybe talking about if we're going to do a future project or not. That's up in the air as well. But it was awesome because this human trafficking obviously is a major problem, and I'm stoked, really excited that I was able to be a part of this project, kind of spearhead the project with Diamondback and help raise awareness, and hopefully a whole lot of, hundreds of thousands of dollars that we raised to kind of fight the problem. So yeah, thank you for the support. Thank you for the support. If you've supported, if you haven't supported, well, no thanks to you. No thanks to you. Thanks for nothing. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to talk about because this video is about the Tacoma. Got a couple guests in the driveway keeping me company. This is one of our chickens, Frizzy. She got attacked and almost killed by the other chickens, so she's separated, kind of rehabilitating right now, so she's just hanging out with me in the driveway. Along with Maple. Hey, Maple. People ask how Maple's been doing. She is still getting car sick, so we have some like anti-anxiety meds that help a little bit, but we gotta like remember to give them to her a day in advance, so no spur of the moment stuff with her for a bit, unless we want to deal with the puke. See ya, Frizzy. So here in front of us, we have my 2016 Tacoma. It's been a staple on the channel for the last, I don't know, 5 years, I guess? 4 years? 4 years. 4 years. This is 2016. I got it in 2016. So it's been on the channel for 4 years. This is the same Tacoma that you guys have seen. Tan Tacoma TRD off-road. It's taken some evolution through the years, and I've documented a lot of that evolution, taken it on a bunch of fun trips, bunch of fun adventures. And this is the truck, so I just kind of give build updates of my vehicles along the way, whenever there's kind of a meaningful chunk of updates to give you guys updates on. And so this one, I'll grab the camera off the tripod in a second, kind of walk you around and show you it, but some notable things here. We got the iKamper Skycamp 3.0. So this one's not quite out yet. I think I'm under embargo or something still for a little bit more, but I'll show you like a peek of it, and then we'll do a whole video of what's new on that tent here soon. Also, up front, I went for the Big Brake Kit finally. It's been an upgrade that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I went with the Powerbrake front Big Brake Kit. So we'll get into that. I've done a bunch of other stuff. I added rock lights to the truck, some KC Cyclone V2s, another miscellaneous this and that, front camera, anytime camera mod. I don't know. We'll just kind of get into some of it. So here we go. I recently did an update. So I took this truck over to Running for Tacos. My friend Twan over there. If you're in the Denver area and are looking for a kind of Tacoma Toyota specific shop, Running for Tacos kind of was like, hey, I want to do a refresh on your truck. And I said, hey, that sounds good. So historically, I've installed pretty much everything on this truck. I kind of built this truck right here in this driveway, right there in that garage. But I would way rather take my truck to a shop. So kind of an option came on the table, Running for Tacos. And so he's done a lot of the modifications, a lot of the recent modifications kind of in the last couple months on this truck. So that's what we're gonna go into today. He's actually given me a coupon code. I believe it's LLOD at runningfortacos.com. I'll link it down below. Saves a variety of stuff depending on how big his margins are on the product. It'll save more, and for small margins it won't save as much. So whenever you're checking out, just give that a shot. Also, some serious updates to the van coming soon. So out here, the Skycamp, the iKamper Skycamp Mini 3.0. You can tell it's the 3.0 at a glance based on the new kind of branding, and I'll open it up in the video and show you everything. But new mounting system, new latching system, basically this tent has a lot of little updates that are very good. So they did a good job updating this. Actually, would you believe it? I have a new taillight. Jason from Overland Eats finally gave me his old taillight. So I have a taillight. I just got to put it on. But this is a major thing. And then this mount here, which is Running for Tacos designed this. So basically this attaches to the front runner crossbar. It's kind of unique to my setup. I had just like a janky kind of hobbled together Maxtrax mounting setup here going on, and they built kind of a dedicated product for it now. So I'll link to that down below. But basically if you're using the front runner crossbars, especially if you're using it on the Diamondback cover, now we got a dedicated, super solid Maxtrax mounting setup for you over here. So this, if you're wondering the offset, why there's still this much offset here, it's because this tent folds up. So we need a little bit of a gap here. But that's basically that going on there. And then the biggest update we got going on, literally the biggest, is Big Brake Kit. Little sexy B-roll montage here. So it almost makes me want to get wheels that aren't so covered up, so you can like see that deliciousness in action. The Black Rhino Arsenal's kind of covered up. You can kind of, it's hard to tell. You can see glimpses of it through there, but definitely not much. But basically, big brakes, something I wanted to do for a while. As you can see, the Tacoma is pretty built out. Now I've went lightweight in a lot of places that I could. So I have a aluminum bumper, I have aluminum skids, I have a lot of lighter weight options here. So I didn't just go crazy with the weight. I didn't do like a full swing out. Like, I've tried to keep this relatively light for a fully built and armored Tacoma, because I care a little bit about payload capacity. Brakes and suspension are two big parts that play a role in your payload capacity. You want to be able to stop this big hunk of metal. And when you add a bunch of weight and big tires, these are 35-inch tires, then it takes longer to stop. You have more rotational mass and energy that you need to slow down. The whole vehicle as a whole is heavier and you got to slow it down. So braking is very important. Now, the Big Brake Kit is the easiest upgrade to give you massive, massive, massive increase in braking power. A lot of people kind of think they focus on like, oh, these are rear drum brakes and I got to convert them to disc, blah, 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 blah. And nothing wrong with that, that's cool, but you should first focus on your front brakes. And the reason is because most of your stopping power comes from the front. You have a lot of weight up front and the weight shifts as you're braking up front, and you have, like, depending on the vehicle, the loadout, you know, a lot of factors, it's like 70 to 80% of your braking force is in the front here. So upgrading your rear brakes a ton won't really matter because your rear brakes, your rear tires don't actually have the traction to utilize all of that upgraded braking componentry. But in the front, you do, because that's where all of the force is going. So if you're going to upgrade something, your front brakes is by far and away where you should invest your money to increase your overall braking performance. Now, if you have that dialed in and you're like way over payload, have a huge camper on the back, maybe you're towing a bunch of stuff and you want to really do it to the next level, then you can start looking at your rear brakes. But front brakes, definitely where it's at. Powerbrake, rad company, been in the industry for a while actually, South African company, though they have a headquarters as well in the US now. They have been building race brakes and all kinds of brakes for a bunch of different vehicles for a long time. They actually create the brakes for Toyota's own Dakar Rally trucks, and I mean a bunch of other race trucks as well. But it's one of their claim to fames is they are actually the brakes on Toyota's craziest race trucks. So that's Powerbrake. So legendary history, awesome companies. I actually talked to the owners and a couple of the guys over there. Super knowledgeable, helpful people that kind of explained everything to me. I knew a little bit, but they like kind of explained way more to me on how that works. So I'll link it down below if you really want to dive in and nerd out over the Big Brake Kit there. But 6-piston, huge rotors, 13.7-inch rotors, I think, just massively noticeable upgrade in braking performance. Now this is a new mod, so I will continue to report back on how I feel about this as I'm taking on some gnarly trails and stuff. And sorry, I'm talking a lot about brakes, just kind of like pointing the camera at the truck, so it's probably kind of boring, but brakes are important. So not even just the stopping power, like your initial stopping power is important. You got to slam on your brakes, there's a moose ahead or the car accident or whatever, or you're on a trail and you just need to brake because you're like, oh my gosh, it got so much steeper than I thought. So braking is hugely important. So increasing your braking is very important. That's one aspect of braking. The other is brake fade. So if you're on a long hill, whether off-road or on-road, or maybe you're towing, or again, your vehicle's heavy, your tires are big, it's not so much the first brake that's as important, though it is important, again, for like, if it's an emergency stopping situation, got you covered there. But even where they excel more probably is resistance to brake fade. So not necessarily your first or your third or your fourth or your 10th or your 20th brake, but over time, if it's just a gnarly trail and you have to rely a lot on your brakes. Again, you know, most of these are autos, so we're not shifting through gears and using any engine compression as much as you would be with manual, though obviously you still can. But it's that 20th brake where you don't want your foot to go all the way to the floor and be like, oh my gosh, I've lost all braking power. And I get freaked out about this kind of stuff, you know, when you're on trails like Black Bear Pass or whatever. I'm like, man, I hope my brakes are gonna hold up, because otherwise I'm gonna careen off this cliff to my death. So anyway, Powerbrake front big brake kit, awesome upgrade. And probably the one thing on this truck that I've wanted to do for the longest amount of time and finally did. They did, I should mention, pretty much all these companies hook me up now. I mention this in my videos all the time, not to brag or anything, just to be full disclosure, and FTC says I have to tell you. So I bought some of the stuff that I'm talking about today, but I don't actually, it's just all kind of mixed together. So most of these companies hooked me up with this, or at least a discount on that. So just know that. So then, yeah, I think we'll just start in the front and work our way around. So in the front, in the very, very front, you see a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, we got the KC Highlights light bar. We got the Warren winch. We got the Factor 55 Ultra hook, which needs to be tightened a little bit here. But what we're looking at here is we got a new front camera. So this front camera, I'll show you the Anytime Camera mod, now allows me to obviously have a camera out the front. So I didn't have that before, so that is new. That's the newest thing and the most front thing. The second thing that you probably can't really tell is new are bumper caps. So Running for Tacos sells these bumper caps here, and these are a replacement. When you're doing aftermarket bumper, normally you have to just cut across this piece and you kind of trash everything, which is what I did. I cut across this piece and it was kind of haggard and janky. So these are just straight across now, and you buy these, and obviously wrapped them now in multicam black to match. But these are new here, so this is a product if you're doing an aftermarket bumper and you want the cleanest, nicest, easiest setup, bumper caps. And I'll link to all this stuff down below. And up here we've updated to the Alpha Rex Nova, I believe. These are the all blacked out ones. So I have had these headlights with the quad LED projectors for a while, but the previous ones were chromed out a little bit in here. It's so bright. It's like the worst angle for light right now. But if I remember, I'm trying to edit and upload this video in like the next hour, so I'm probably not gonna throw some B-roll in, but stay tuned for later. I'll show some stuff in here. But basically these are just the best looking, just fully blacked out housing now, no chrome up in here. So obviously to match the truck, all black, multicam black really. Finally updated to the all black headlights. Another thing we got are the KC Cyclone rock lights all around here. So these are the V2s, so a little bit nicer, a little bit more featureful. They have this like center cap cover now, and they have swappable lenses, so you can change them red, white, blue, amber, whatever. I may swap the ambers on, and it's nice because they just clip on here, so you can swap them out really easy. I'm running the whites for now. So the whole 6-pack of those lights, Twan wired them up there. There's one, you can kind of see it underneath there, and then one in the rear here as well. So we got some rock lights. It's nice for area illumination lights, or just kind of illuminating what's below you on the trail at night. But one thing that's pretty cool and unique is that this rock light kit is wired up to this light. So basically this right now has off, or it's on when the doors open, or it's on, but it'll actually turn on as you approach the vehicle too. So that normally controls your little rear LEDs in that. So now the rock light kit, this is a kit that Twan sells, hooks up to that. So you don't need to use an extra separate switch here, though I did previously have it on a switch. Now that frees that up for something else, and This is just auto, so it kind of dims on and off. If I want it on all the time, just click it on and it's on. So that, again, clicks on. So that light's kind of bright out, you can't really tell, is on. And the rock lights are on. But typically I'll just keep it in auto mode, which is nice. Parking lot at the grocery store, boom, comes on, illuminates everything, really nice. So that's a really cool mod that I've been wanting to do for a long time as well, the rock lights, because, you know, I got all of my other illumination covered, and these kind of function as scene area lights when I'm out camping. Those are the KC Highlight C2s, and I got obviously a bunch of good lighting out front with the Pro 6, the Flex Air 3s, the G4s, and the old Flex light bar. So, and then these headlights. So I got a lot of lighting, but the rock lights were kind of the final piece of the puzzle. So finally got those installed. And then actually let's pop the hood real quick because I've made some updates underneath the hood, which is nice. This, if you're wondering, this sticking out, this is just because this isn't my daily driver anymore, so I don't drive it as much. So that is just, actually connected to a trickle charger, basically to keep my battery charged when I'm not driving this thing much. So now we have the hood strut. Actually still need to, this is like one of the original OG mods I did, under hood light that has since, it's just like some Amazon thing that has since burned out, and I just got to rip that out and put a proper one in now. But I've made some updates under the hood, and the guys cleaned up the wiring a bunch for me here. So we'll start over here first, actually. This is the ARB twin compressor. If anyone knows anyone at ARB, tell them to shoot me an email. My twin is actually only operating on one right now, so I either need to warranty that or get a replacement or whatever, but I don't actually know anyone at ARB, I don't think. So if you're at ARB, know someone at ARB, tell them to hit me up because I need to get this thing repaired. It might be something internally, I don't really know. Fuses are good. Well, I haven't debugged it much. But anyways, I have an ARB twin compressor under the hood. They've actually run some hoses now, so I have some chucks out here, and I'm gonna run a couple others. I'm gonna run one to the back as well, so I can have some air up points. But this is a new compressor mount from More, M-O-R-E, compressor mount, and it integrates. It's really cool. So I had a compressor mount from Slee here before that was just looked about the same, put it at about the same place, but it was just a bunch of wasted space underneath. Now what we have under here is a 1 gallon ARB air tank. So I didn't have an air tank previously, and this is a baby guy, but it'll help if I want to run some air tools on the trail or whatever. And also theoretically allows for kind of less downtime. So I can kick on my compressor when I go to air up, and it'll spend a couple seconds pre-compressing that tank and give me kind of like a turbo boost to inflate my tires for a little bit. And depending on my tire inflation setup, you know, if I'm walking tire to tire, airing things up, I'll probably use an Indiflate or a Moreflate or something like that. Or, well, I mean, that's what I do use, so it doesn't matter as much. But if you're walking around, then it allows for less downtime. Your compressor runs the whole time, and it kind of is refilling the tank while you're swapping between and kind of turbo boosts that air into there. So anyways, new compressor mount with the 1 gallon tank. Love utilizing all the space under there, so that's really cool. And then before, this was kind of a mess. It's kind of hobbled together. I originally did my own wiring system with the Big Blue C panel and spent a good amount of time and got that, I don't know, kind of clean, I guess. And then I switched over to a Switch Pros, and I did that literally like a few hours before a trip, just ripped all my wiring out and put in all my new wiring in. And that one I just kind of threw in, was just sitting here for a while as a mess. So Tuan actually cleaned that whole thing up. So now we have the Switch Pro, you can actually see it from back here, mounted back here, nice and clean. Everything is wired nicely. And then this is a separate thing that I haven't even wired anything up to yet, but Blue Sea Systems, that little fuse panel, so I can run some more accessories off of this if I need more than what my Switch Pro kind of allocates for. And then yeah, still do have the EMP shield, which all the electrical engineers tell me won't do anything. But for me, you know, better safe than sorry. There's a lot of people that are smarter than those quote unquote engineers commenting on my videos, and I'm like, if you know, the government and Homeland Security and everyone is investing in adding EMP proofedness to their vehicles, it doesn't hurt, right? It gives me a little extra peace of mind. So I have a coupon code. I think it saved you like $50 off of this, but I'll link that back down below. So basically this vehicle theoretically is an EMP proof vehicle. So there's that. Also, with everything going on over here, there's no room for another hood strut over here. I used to have a hood strut on either side. Now we beefed up a single side hood strut. So the hood opens and closes. Well, it doesn't close automatic, but opens automatically with a single hood strut on that side. So that's cool. I think that's about it going on under the hood. And then inside we've changed a couple things around. This I kind of had hodgepodge together. I had my ham mount over here, and this kind of like is actually the Velcro still here, but it's like Velcroed over here. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. But Twan, again, always picking on me, wanted to clean my stuff up. We installed a miso mount here. Switch Pros allows you to control, there's a bunch of different switch controllers out there. Switch Pros is one of them, and it allows you to kind of program a bunch of stuff. So you can like program a button to turn all your lights on or off. You can dim them, strobe them, whatever. You can program some of these to be able to work when your ignition isn't on, when your car's not running, and others to only work, for example, my air compressor doesn't work unless my car is running. But this, which powers my ham radio and a USB outlet, can turn on whenever I want it. So anyway, Switch Pro, and this is miso, makes a really nice kind of integrated mount here. And then we also freed up a couple extra buttons. I believe that's an addition as well. In addition to all the other stuff that they make, which, you know, changes the colors of these, dechromes them. I changed them to tan, dechrome this, dechrome that. A lot of stuff we did. I covered in the last video. And then up here we have an Expedition Essentials rail. I did a DIY version of this before anyone was making these things, but now they're a little bit nicer and a little bit more solid than what I was using in the past. So I have that paired with a 67 Designs phone mount. This is my favorite phone mount of all the phone mounts. And sorry, kind of crazy. Let me adjust my exposure here. So yeah, we put the ham radio up here, which I'm honestly not a fan of. Twan kind of put it up there. And I was like, I'm not the kind of guy that likes a bunch of stuff. I just like it clean and minimal. Cell phone at max, basically up here. Maybe my Garmin if I'm, you know, gonna be using it or something. But mostly I like the cell phone. And so I'll probably relocate this to be like down here somewhere. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to save that for another day. But a lot of you nerds out there love having just your whole command center, all kinds of crap up here. I hate it. I'm a very minimalist kind of guy. So I'll probably relocate that to down here. But this is my ham radio. I am a ham, for those that ask. I'm a licensed ham operator, just the lowest. I'm a lowly. I got my technician's license, but so I do ham radio though. And then here's some info on the Powerbrake. Oof, they're so beautiful. Billet machined, red anodized. I think the gray is even technically an even harder coat anodized, but you obviously got to go with the red. Be a little bling bling with the slotted rotors. Delicious. Let's turn this baby on so I can show you the anytime camera mod. The anytime camera button is down here. So this will use that front camera I showed you earlier, front and rear. So you can press in the front or the rear. I'll show you that in a second. But when it's in the middle, it just operates as normal. So basically in the middle, you kick it into reverse and your reverse camera comes on exactly like it does just with your factory settings. While you're in reverse, you can still click the front camera if you want, though I don't know why you would really want to do that. But when you're just driving down the highway or on a trail or whatever, normally you'll have your screen as normal, and then you'll kick the front camera button to show the front anytime, or the rear camera button to show the rear anytime. So front camera is pretty nice because Tacoma hood, you can see I can see the ground in front of me and my backyard. Normally, I can't see any of that ground in front of me, right? Like I'm up. I'm up as high as I can get here, and my hood is blocking everything till way out in my yard. Whereas in the camera, I see this whole space. You know, this is like 30 feet that I'm not seeing because it kind of drops off here. So I can't see any of that over the hood normally. And with the anytime camera, now I can. So mostly that's helpful for me on trails and stuff. But you know, maybe it would be beneficial for parking or other things like that. Anyway, super like this mod. It's another one that I've wanted for a while, so I'm kind of stoked I finally have. Sweet. Well, I think that's it for now. I may have missed something, but I'll continue. The Tacoma's not going anywhere. I know people always worry about me selling it or whatever. I have all these other vehicles now, but Tacoma still. This is my main. This is back to being my main adventure rig. So we're going to continue to kind of update it and keep it fresh. I talked about it in a previous video. I'll link to it up here if I remember. But basically, when I refreshed this thing, it hadn't received. I did my math earlier wrong. 2016, and I said 4 years old. I was thinking it was 2020. It's 2022. So this thing is 6 years old. I probably won't edit that earlier, but for those math people, I screwed up earlier. Anyway, I did a video updating a bunch of this stuff. And the reason was because I was like an early-ish adopter of modding this vehicle. So a lot of the stuff I did was when there wasn't much available for this truck. So there's like not many suspension kits, not many different mods. So I'm kind of refreshing all of the early mods that I did that are now there's better solutions out there for. Sweet, guys. That's it. Don't forget freedomtremor.com if you're watching this video right away. Just go get something. Help support an amazing cause. Get an opportunity to win my old dream truck. All right. Well, hit that thumbs up. Get subscribed to the channel. Let me know what videos you want to see. As always, I always appreciate the video recommendations down below. So let me know. And until next time, guys, take care.